right, we are live as Paranormal Highways. I'm waiting for it to come up.
I can give you a clue that there is no fortune.
Something live, boys and girls.
Just keep on wondering. In the shadows I wait just until you wonder. I know it's me.
Got one viewer in, about ready to rock and roll. Let me get this thing shared. Oh, my son posted it to Tennessee Raid Station. Yep. And I'm about to share it. Here we go. Oh, Daddy-o. Welcome, Paranormal Freaks. I'm your host, Mike, and you're watching Paranormal Highways. All right, guys, before we get started tonight, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors that made all this happen. BPI Products and Ghost Hunt Weekends. Thank you very much. As you can see, my next guest right now, they don't need no introduction. They're my bros from another Moe's. We are excited about their up-and-coming new show, Haunted Towns. We're here tonight to talk about it. Chris, Mike, welcome to the show, and congratulations on the new season, my guys.
Thank you, man. It's been a long time in waiting. So we're excited.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that are, jumping up for joy that we got that new season. Hey, let me ask you a question. You just got through doing live, and then you had your off season, and then went to Haunted Towns. Was there just a change, or did they want to change, or why did they go to Haunted Towns instead of live?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. When Haunted Live came about, that was like, I don't want to say last minute. For us, it seemed last minute. It's like
right.
we're waiting on a cuff for another season of Haunted Towns. The network came to us and said, "Hey, would you guys be interested in doing a live investigation show?" So of course we're like, "Yeah, let's do it." It's it was a challenge doing it, but I think from the first episode, from the phone call to the first episode was within a month's time, so it was very fast, and. So we took it on, and it did very well. It was actually in the top 5 of Travel Channel shows. So we're hoping this fall, Haunted Live comes back for another season. So that's up to the viewers. So I will say Travel Channel does look at all the comments. They review messages. So if you want to see more Haunted Live this fall, write them for sure.
Excellent. Well, unlike me, I wouldn't care if you worked all year round, except for when you run to some events that I'm at and things like that. Got to see you guys every now and again.
Yeah.
But Haunted Live, Haunted Towns, Ghost Asylum, any one of them. As long as you're there, guys, I'm happy. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that are too.
But we're very blessed. We really enjoy doing it, man. I mean, we're one of the few people in the world that really truly loves their job. We film, we go to events, we get to hang out with the fans on the weekend. Not getting much better than that.
Well, I agree with you. Your fans. I mean, I watched some of the fan support that you have and how many you all got. That's got to be heartwarming right there.
Absolutely. I mean, these are the times we get to, again, do what we love to do. We love to investigate, do ghost hunts, but we get to do it with the people that make it possible for us to do what we do on television. So it's like we get to, it's one thing to message somebody on social media, but when you can actually meet them, investigate with them, and hit these dark locations together. It's cool. It's very fun. We love doing it.
Well, you got your new season coming up. It premieres. Go ahead, guys. I'll let you say it.
June 21st. That's Friday.
This Friday.
This Friday. I'm a lucky old chap. I'll get to talk to you before you premiere. But this Friday it premieres. Yes, can't wait. I'll be on it. If I don't, of course, like I do all the time, I'll jump on and watch on the DVR there as I'm driving down the road. Actually, I don't watch it, so don't get upset.
That's a cover for you.
Well, you listen to it, right? I do the same thing on long trips. I'll even Netflix up on the thing, and I mainly listen to it, but a lot of Andy Griffith, a lot of Forensic Files. On location, people are probably like at night, I know they're looking in my window like, this guy's watching television while he's driving.
Yeah, if you ever see a truck with a great big bright light on it, that's me riding down I-75.
With the TWC logo on the side, right? Yes.
Yep, TWC's on the side of my truck. Great big logo along with GHW. There are great big logos on the side of the truck. Right. Hey, I support my guys. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right. Also, right. And anything else, we'd like to say anybody who bought a fist bump tee, the pre-order, we just got through boxing and getting all those things ready. So those are going to be shipped out tomorrow. So you should be getting them this week or early next week.
Sweet. You all didn't hear that? You all got the website going on and everything too, right?
Yes. Yeah. TennesseeRayTasters.com. New merchandise is coming up. I don't want to say we've been slacking, but since we started filming the beginning of the year, everything's been put on hold. So it's like we got done filming a couple months ago, and it's slowly coming back. A lot of stuff has been on back order, but it was getting the site up and running. It was a lot of businessy crap, you know. It's like businessy stuff that had to be fine-tuned before we actually got everything up on the site.
They don't care. They'll order it and they'll wait forever for us. They're TWC fans, bro. They know you're busy. Speaking of that, man, who does your all's? Do you all get together and do your logos and stuff like that? Because, man, you got some unique shirts.
That's this man right here.
Thank you. I try.
You do good, man. I mean, I won't say good. You do great. I mean, some of the shirts you all come out with are freaking awesome. Like I said, they're unique. You know, everybody buys them as soon as they can. And I think the last one, it's got the prayer on it. I've got that one coming to me. Is that the one you all was boxing up?
Yep. Going out tomorrow.
Sweet. I guess I get to see it in a few days.
Well, what's really cool about that, a little fun fact about that prayer is that was my grandfather's prayer. I use it sometimes, you know, whenever we're about to go into a haunted location. But that's the way he would always start his prayer, and that's kind of a memory of mine, my grandfather. So I use that, and that's what's on the back of the shirt. So.
Oh, I love it. I'm pretty sure everybody else does. I know you guys can't see what's going on, but we got a lot of reactions going on. We got plenty of comments coming. And I'm watching for them and see if anybody wants to actually get in there and ask a question. We may take a few questions as we go along here. So, guys, the new premiere, you think of anything that would put it above all the other things for this year? I know you all stressed and try to make everything, you know, better than the year before or anything like that. Is there anything that maybe you all think that besides being you guys? I would watch it if you all was just rolling around the pile of shit. No.
That is during the.
Yeah, we do actually roll around in feces. I think it's more about you, Mike, but I know the very first episode this Friday, you're not going to want to miss that one because we actually got to go to the swamp. We went to Louisiana, went to the Bayou, Manchac Swamp. I mean, what an amazing place to get to investigate. We investigate a cemetery that's actually in the swamp. You can only get there by boat. We went to the plantation house that's where the very first American slave revolt took place. And we got some really good stuff on this episode. So for me, I think that was probably the highlight.
Oh, wow. Speaking of, did you say that was New Orleans?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right outside of it, actually. Yeah, but down in the swamps of Louisiana. I mean, I've never been in a swamp, let alone a boat in the middle of the night investigating it. I mean, it was definitely definitely an experience. I mean, there's a lot of cool locations, towns we've never heard of. I know in season 1 we hit Salem, we hit Gettysburg, Savannah, towns that we all know of, we've heard of, we heard history of. But this season we hit towns we never even heard of, never knew they existed, and stuff like that, like with the slavery bowl. It's like there's so much of that that's left out of history books that you don't find out until you're actually digging in, like we did. So it's
Right.
like, I can't believe something that big took place and we never knew about it. How do you not hear about that growing up in a history class?
Yeah,
But
no kidding.
there's so many. I mean, I don't even know if it's listed as one of the episodes yet on the Travel Channel. So, but there's one that was one of my top favorites that's coming up. We actually I think we talked about it in the episode too. We almost investigated backwards. We thought we were going for one thing. We actually, when you see this episode, you'll know we almost went backwards into it, and it was like watching almost like watching an Unsolved Mysteries episode. It's like,
Really?
you know what I'm talking about with the club and everything. It's like the things that came out. We thought the reason for somebody passing, let's just keep it brief that way,
Right.
was one thing, but the evidence that we were getting told us totally different, and it kind of took it. And then during the interviews, we were getting little pieces of stuff in it. By the end, or for us, almost the beginning, it made these puzzle pieces come together, and it was just like one of those. When we left that location, I was like, "Oh my God, this was like amazing!" It's like it's almost like solving a murder mystery. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's what I like about you guys' shows, because the evidence and the things that you do pull out of what you all find and what you all do have evidence against, that coexist together there, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
And being in Louisiana, I mean, I don't know about that, but you got voodoo down there and everything else.
Yeah, that was a big part of the episode too. We actually talked to a priestess, and she gave us, the whole voodoo ritualistic cleansing, and with the egg and all that kind of stuff. It was really cool to talk to her and just get a different take on the paranormal from that side of it. Voodoo. I learned something that voodoo, it can be used for malicious purposes, but it can also be used for good. And they kind of look at it as a religion. So, I don't practice voodoo, obviously, but it was kind of cool to get that different perspective of it.
Definitely a new kind of respect for it. Like he was saying, like prior to filming there, it's like you say the words voodoo, I automatically think voodoo doll, needles, but kind of, it's like more evil kind of way, and to me, evil. But definitely wasn't. It's like these people, especially for the slavery role, they practiced that. That's one thing they always had in common. That was their religion. That's what they practiced. That was like their getaway, So it's like after, you'll watch the episode and you'll hear more about it, but it's like it gives you a whole new respect for it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm scared to death of it, even when you say voodoo. So
Yeah.
That makes my butt cheeks tighten up.
We use the word very loosely now, voodoo. We're always like, "Oh, don't put the voodoo on you," and it's like you automatically go that route, and it's really not that,
Well, in your sense, what do you think? Voodoo is it more of a protection, or?
Well, that's kind of what we learned. They use it for protection. They use it for a lot of different things. And like I said, you can use voodoo for malicious purposes, but a lot of it, I think, accumulated back, especially in Louisiana during those days, was for protection. You got to think about it. This was, one of the biggest atrocities in American history. Slavery. So back in those times, that's what they would use to try to protect themselves. So. I think it's just one of those things that people are afraid of it because they don't really know anything about it. But once you start learning it, and once you kind of talk to the locals and the people who practice it, they kind of throw all that out the window and give you a better understanding of it.
Yeah, I mean, it was like almost like I don't want to say getaway, but it's like during that time for the story we were studying on while we were there. It's almost like if we had to put ourselves in that position now and we were slaves and it's like where we had to break away to pray, to practice Christianity. This is where we went. We didn't have a church because we were slaves, so we went here or there, and that's where we prayed together. That's where we worshiped together. It's almost that's what these people did. That was their common ground, and they would flee to these swamps, because that's the only place they can get away to and practice that, and it's like a common ground that they had.
Wow. It just brings that thing of bond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
The thing of bond and all that. It's like the TWC bond.
Right.
That's right.
Bunch of country boys kicking down the doors.
That's right, man.
Let me ask you a question. During these episodes, I was going to ask, but I thought about it, and I was like, man, I got to ask. I got them in a mood. Here we go. Is there anything that we can look for in these shows that, might put you in that, oh, man, I just shorted my pants moment?
Yeah, this weekend, I saw, well, I'm not going to reveal what I saw, but I saw something during our investigation at the plantation that we were at that I've never experienced before in my life. And I think in the sneak peek, they give you a little sneak peek of that, but it really startled me. And what's crazy is our cameraman's camera malfunctioned during that whole ordeal when we were investigating these two rooms where, some really bad stuff happened. And the camera guy lost all his footage. And so what you're going to see is Mike, he is actually a cameraman himself because he carries around a camera everywhere we go to kind of document what we're seeing. So if it hadn't been for Mike's camera, we would have lost all of that footage. So whenever that happens this weekend on Friday night, whenever you see that happen to me, that's all Mike's footage. And if he hadn't been getting it, then we would have lost everything.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad he was doing that.
That happened actually last season, and it's funny. It was like it was the first episode we filmed last season in Savannah. I mean, but we all know if you investigate, it's like whatever's out there seems to manipulate cameras, batteries, whatever. And it's like we had an issue. The same camera guy, probably the same camera, if whatever. But it's like the same thing. Remember, it went down in Savannah.
Yep.
And it's like for whatever reason, when we were in this plantation home, everything shut down, and he didn't know until after the fact.
Yep.
So it was hours later, and he's like, I just lost a whole bunch of stuff. The whole camera just crapped out on him, and he didn't even realize it.
Oh, wow.
I was very distraught about it. Like, you can ask Mike, I was all pouty for the rest of the night because I didn't think we had anything. I didn't think we were going to be able to use it in the episode. And then they found out later that all Mike's footage was still intact. So thankfully, that moment was captured because it was one of the most prolific moments of the season for me. I saw something that just shook me so hard. I know my mom's going to kill me when she sees the episode because I bursted out a JC, and I usually don't do that, but unless I'm really scared. So you can tell I'm really scared if I curse or say anything like that because I usually don't do that, especially on the show. But so that was one of those moments that really shook me.
Well, speaking of cameramen, did any of your cameramen or anybody, do you lose them during an episode, or not really an episode, but during filming or anything like that? I mean, something really freak them out where they take off?
Actually, the only time I can say, like Alex, the DP, there's a couple times he's been freaked out.
Yeah.
Last season, I remember in Salem, he got freaked out, but it was all a goof. Chris and the guy that ran the place were playing a joke on us. We didn't even know it. They had, it's actually in the title sequence of the Haunted Town season 1, where everybody's like, whoa, in front of the monitor. At that time, Chris had talked with the owner of the location. They tied a string around a rocking horse. And we weren't even filming yet. This was all pre to everything. But it was just so funny because they kept shaking it. And I was like watching the monitor at the time because we just set all the cameras up. I was like, did that just move? And then somebody else was watching it. And then, you're doing stuff. We're setting up and looking around that corner of your eye. You see this monitor, like, that thing just moved again. Everybody, the whole crew, everybody's watching this monitor. Also, it was like, this rocking horse just shook. Everybody went, "Oh shit!" You know, it's like this whole thing's shaking. The camera guy was like, "I'm about," and he's not even really a believer. He's skeptic as hell, and he's just like, "I was about to quit right there." But
yeah, no, we very carefully, the owner and I was like, "You want to do something fun tonight?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "You know, we got some fishing line. Let's go mess with these guys." So I'll never forget Alex, the look on his face, man. That was priceless because Alex doesn't really spook very easily. I've seen him scared a couple of times, but whenever that rocking chair just like he jerked it, and the whole rocking chair just moved out of frame, and all these guys were just tripping. And I was in there watching it, and I was trying my best not to laugh, but Alex he was just like. He like stopped filming. He just dropped his camera and was just like.
And it's funny because the producer thought it was like the most magical paranormal moment. The entire crew was in front of this monitor watching, and remember Devon's like, "Get the hell out of the scene! Get out of the scene!" Because he thought we were capturing the best thing ever, and then all of a sudden they start busting out laughing, and we're like, "Oh." The only other time I saw him freaked out was this was Ghost Asylum. It was Missouri State Penitentiary. I remember, if everybody's investigating with Brandon before, they know Brandon goes off on his own all the time. And even when we're done filming, Brandon does his own thing. So I was like, at that time I was production, so I was like, I wanted to investigate with him. So camera shut down, everything's done. They were just doing some B-roll. So I was in one of the buildings with Brandon, and we were down wherever it was. I think it was a death row building. And so we're doing our thing, and then we kind of hear something, and we're like, "What is that?" Kind of hear voices, and then it's like, "Oh," and I tell Brandon, I was like, "I think that's Alex and them coming because I know they're filming some B-roll." But he didn't know we were there. He didn't know we were in a cell, but we heard him coming. So we were just standing there waiting for him to come down the hall, and then we see the light and all that stuff. He came around a corner, and they're doing their B-roll shots like that. And he shined that light in on that cell. Me and Brandon are just standing there. And he's like, "Holy shit!" I think that was the only other time I saw that guy freak out. Other than that, he holds his cool. I mean, we scream sometimes like little girls. And
Yep. Well, there was another time, though, when we were filming at Old South Pittsburgh, Ghost Asylum season, I think it was season 3, we did OSPH. And I think it's even in the show where it's Chasey and I up on the 3rd floor. And this was like where, usually it's us that's scaring the cameraman. But this time it was the ghost. We heard like a real, like 3 knocks on the door right beside my head. And immediately I looked at Chasey, I looked at Alex, the camera guy, and I'm like, "Did you hear that?" And he was like, "Expletive, yeah." We ended up opening the door, and there was nobody there. And like I went through the whole floor, and there's no possible way that anybody could have knocked on that door the way they did. And I mean, I think, like I said, I think it made it to the show. But that was one of those times where Alex's face was just like, "Oh my God, this is." I don't think that these guys get interviewed enough. If I can get Alex on one of your shows, I think that would be one of the most interesting and that would probably be one of the most entertaining shows if you could get some of the camera guys and some of the producers on some of these podcasts, because they experience it, but they're the ones off in the dark, waiting in a room listening by themselves. So I mean, they have a lot of experiences.
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, even Ghost Asylum being behind the scenes there, I don't know how, especially like Peoria was a big one, Missouri State, where it's like we had to do stuff. You do stuff by yourself all the time. You don't have one camera guy, one guy with you, and it's like there's so many times some of the other crew would be like, "Will you go with me? I don't want to go by myself. I'm not going to go down there." Davina worked with us, and this was at Old South Pittsburgh, and it was B-roll day. That's all we did was drive around town, do B-roll. But we have a production office set up in the hospital. Every location we go to, you have a production office set up in somewhere. Some of the places like on Haunted Towns was actually outside, but this one was inside. And so there was just maybe 5 of us. And so she's like, "So do you want to go out and assist with B-roll, or do you want to sit in here and do like the office work?" I was like, whatever you want to do. And she's like, well, I'll stay here and do it. And I was like, well, just so you know, there's nobody else in the building. I said, it'll be just you. So if you want to go out with them and film some stuff, I can stay here and do this because you're going to be the only one in the building. Nobody was there. And she goes, no, I want to get this work done. So I'm going to stay here. We left, and I think it was like 10 minutes later, I get a text from her, and she's like, F this place. I'm working on it right now. She goes, I'm hearing voices. I heard a lady talking, and there's nobody in here. So she ran out, and she was doing the rest of her stuff from her laptop in the van because she kept hearing stuff. So it's like when you work behind the scenes, you experience a lot.
Well, that's the good thing about it. You know, you guys really have a good relationship with your all behind the scenes crews and all that. It seems like.
Yeah, one big road family, especially doing like Haunted Live was a little different. It was a way bigger crew for a way shorter time. You know, when it's Haunted Towns, you're with the same people for 10 weeks, day in, day out, same hotel, same wherever. It's like, I mean, you know how it is when you're on the road with people. It's road fam. You know, it's like you see people first thing in the morning. You see them at breakfast. You see them for maybe that 4 a.m. drink when you're done filming. You know, so it's like, you know, everybody got really close.
Yeah, and like whenever they do pick up another season, that's one of the first things that I do is I start reaching out to all the crew. I'm like, are you available? Are you? Because I mean, you get used to working with a person. Like for instance, Alex Pappas, who's been our director of photography ever since Ghost Asylum season 2. You know, everything that we've done has been with him. So you don't really want to work with anybody else because you get used to that person, and you know they become like your friend, your family. You trust them because when they bring somebody new from the crew in, I mean, it's always kind of a process to get to know them and get to know how they do things because everybody's different. But you know, luckily with Haunted Live, we got to bring in Rob and Andrew. There are 2 producers. They're you know, good friends of ours, and they work really hard. And we've worked with Andrew since season 2 of Ghost Asylum, with Rob since season 3, and you know, you build this bond with these people, you know, and you don't, you know, it sucks when that, like, whenever you first get that green light, hey guys, we're gonna do a new season. It's like, okay, that's cool, but we got to make sure that we got our road fam, you know, in place and that they're available because that's a big part of it.
That's right. Even when you get new people, it's like almost like your first day of high school or a boot camp or something like that. It's like you don't even, what's this guy's name again? Then, you know, I mean, I don't even want to say by the end of the run. After a few weeks later, you're like, you know, and it's like you're brother buddy, and it's like because there was a handful of some new people that we never worked with before. And it's like, you know, second day, third day, you're like, what's that guy's name again? But man, it does not take long when you're out on the road with somebody just to become, you know, and they're definitely, everybody was such cool people.
Well, that's true. I guess it's more like chemistry because Alex would have the chemistry of what you guys want to do and how you do it. So now he's got the chemistry as you go along.
We always say Alex is a little older than us. So we always say, man, when I'm his age, he gives no F's. Basically, Alex is that guy. Like when we're in Hawaii, he's a guy. 5 a.m. He's floating in the water with a Mai Tai in his hand, like woo. You know, it's like he just loves life. He loves what he does. He's an excellent cameraman, and it's like the guy has his stuff together. But it's like you can tell outside of business, the guy just loves life, loves good people, and loves to have a good time, and that's us. So we connect big time.
Yeah, that's the fun part about doing filming because it's all serious and straight all the time. It's going to be hard. In my eyes, it'd be hard to just keep producing, you know?
And I think, well, I'd say connect with him, but Alex is totally off the grid. He has 0 social media.
Yep.
I mean, I'm surprised the guy has an email. You probably have to send him like a little carrier pigeon. Yeah, but the guy's totally off the grid. He's like, I want nothing to do with social media.
Yeah, he's working with the Ghost Brothers now. He's they're very lucky to have gotten Alex. So you know, but we gotta steal him back, guys. So whenever you're done, you gotta make sure and give him back to us.
Yeah, I don't know if Ghost Brothers are going to be at Scarefest yet, but we could have that showdown.
Supposed to be there. We'll have a talk with him.
The showdown of getting Alex back.
All right.
Well, I saw in this little chat room, I'm dating myself. In the comments section, we had a nice little conversation about my gray goatee. Thank you very much for pointing that out.
You seen that too, huh?
Yeah, I saw that.
It was about his gray goatee. I think Lisa said it was almost gray, completely gray.
I dye it gray.
Yeah, I do too.
Gateway Paranormal dudes, what's happening?
What's up, Michael Fole? Stacy, what's up, Stacy? Little mama.
I'll give the baby a kiss.
We got Lisa
Stacy's
in the house.
Baxter, backstage Baxter. Sherry.
We got Gina. What's up, Gina? I'm wearing the shirt. Remember OSPH Live? That was cool. That was when we stole, Gina.
Oh.
Three Girls in the Dark basically rented out OSPH, and they're like, hey, guys, you want to come along and investigate with us? Gave out the invitation, and then we're like, yeah, sure. And then we ended up coming up there and doing Facebook Live and like basically used the whole thing for our benefit. And like, it was like, I think
we didn't mean it. We didn't go into it like, let's hijack their investigation. It just wound up happening, I guess. We still feel bad.
Hey, as long as you had fun,
we did.
There with the gun.
It was a hell of a night. We had a good time.
We did.
Awesome. Hey, let's see if we can get our sponsor on here real quick.
Do it.
Hey, this is Ghost Hunt Weekend's president, Chad Morin, and you are listening to Paranormal Highways.
Yeah.
Right on.
I seen Chad on there. I needed to get my sponsor in there. I was like, yeah, he'll like that.
Is he calling in, or was that just that?
No, he didn't. He sent that to me, and I put it on my podcast since he sponsors a lot of it when I'm at Ghost Hunt Weekends and stuff. So I use it to advertise for it.
Bruh. We got one word to say to Chad. Whenever the battleship comes around, just make sure and don't get any quesadillas. But I think he'll know what we're talking about.
Well, if we're talking about behind the scenes stuff,
Solid.
the battleship event that we did, we had great activity during the investigation for sure. But I think the behind the scenes of everything for that entire weekend was just off the hook. I don't think we've laughed so hard. I mean, we were crying going back that night. We laughed so hard. It was such a good time. I mean, we had such a great time there. So we're going back August 31st.
Yes, sir.
Not have your tickets. You want to go. We had an amazing time. It's August. It's hot. You're on a battleship, but you know what? Deal with it. It's what
you're out there with the guys.
I mean, how often do you have like the perfect weather investigation? It's always hot. It's always cold. It's going to be hot, but who cares? We got water. Let's do it. It's a good time.
Well, speaking of events, what are some of them that you guys got coming up?
Next week we are me, Doogie, and Chris are in Corinth, Mississippi. I think there's still a couple tickets left for that. Weekend after that we're at, which was supposed to be Mopen, but that's gone. So we're going to be in Branson doing a Titanic, which is actually very cool. Never been there before. I think it's going to be amazing just to be able to see this stuff, artifacts and everything that's on the Titanic. And I've talked to people that's been there before, and they said it's actually pretty active. So this goes back to one of the $1 million questions. Does things really attach to objects? Obviously there. I mean, it's a museum, but there's Titanic artifacts, and people say they got great activity there. So there's something to say to that.
I heard that one of the best pieces of equipment was the FLIR. One of the little boys gets picked up on the FLIR all the time up there.
Oh wow! Okay, that's a cool piece of equipment. Heck yeah!
What's
so
up?
That's going to be.
We got Jen D. We got Tasha.
We got right in a row. Sherry Horchick. We're gonna get some crazy girl next week. Crazy Sherry's gonna be there, and I think Mississippi next week, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
We haven't seen her in a while. She's been MIA.
It's been a long time since we saw Sherry.
Yeah, we don't like it. You need to come around
more often. Yeah.
Yeah, Sherry's usually a regular.
We're off. I think after that is what was it, 4th of July week. We're off, and then we're in Virginia for like 3 weeks in a row. I mean, you know how it is.
We're everywhere. We're booked. I know August is completely booked. We're all over the place in August.
All right.
There, Ohio, Tennessee, Michigan, North Carolina. So, yeah, I mean, just go to our Facebook page or go to TennesseeRaidChasers.com. That's where you can find all the events that all the guys do, you know, not just Mike and I, but, you know, there are some where we split up and people go different directions. You know, Doogie's events, Porter's events, you know, Brandon, the rest of us just go over there and look in our event calendar and buy some tickets, guys, because we always have a good time.
Yeah, like Nicholson Sneed's coming up next month. You've been there, Shane. I mean, the place is off the hook. It's awesome. I think there's still a few tickets left. And if people don't realize it, it's like the majority of your money does go to upkeeping these historical sites. You know, so if we want to, whether you just want to visit it, whether you like it because it looks pretty in your neighborhood or you want to investigate it, it helps support that. It's not just putting money in other people's pockets. It's like the only way to keep these places alive is to support it. And that's a great way to support it. You go there, you have a good time, you get a good meal, you get to ghost hunt, and you're also doing a good deed.
Yep, I agree with you 100%. Real quick, guys, we got a Stacy Cole. Can you please give a shout out to Team Black at Freedom Church?
What up, Team Black?
Team Black. Freedom Church from where? Where's your Freedom Church?
She didn't put it down. She just said Team Black at Freedom Church.
Well, I go to a Freedom Church here, so I'm wondering if it's the same one because I never heard of Team Black. And if it is, why am I not a part of it?
Your team great.
Well, just like some of the things you said, go on TennesseeRayChasers.com. You can go on www.ghosthuntweekends.com and get the guys' events too. So don't.
Yeah, and everything's linked. If you go to TennesseeRaidChasers.com, every event that we have will send you to the proper link. So we have all Chad's events, we Ghost Hunt Weekends, everybody else's events. You just hit the link and it'll take you right to where you need to go.
Yep, that's what's so good about these guys. They work good with each other.
Right on. Like somebody just right there, Gettysburg.
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 Gettysburg and Field. You see that? You know. But anyway, no, Porter and Brandon are going to be there.
Give me a second.
So,
Over.
you go to Gettysville, get ready for Porter and Brandon in Gettysville.
Gettysburg, North Carolina.
I love you, man. That was great.
You miss out if you don't come to the events. We always mess things up.
I mean, we made a lot of friends in Michigan this weekend. Like what was cool about Michigan is we have a lot of repeating friends that come to our events, and you know we're always happy to see them. But I think in Michigan we had like all new people this past weekend, man. And I think we made some friends, and I think they're going to be coming back for more of TWC, man. Because until you investigate with us, I don't think you really understand what goes down. If you just watch the show, that's not even a quarter of what goes on or what goes down in a paranormal investigation. You really got to come and hang out with us, buy a ticket, come to the event. We're going to make sure that you have a good time. You're going to have an experience. And if you don't have an experience, you're going to hear a lot of bad jokes.
Don't get Chris started on the jokes. Hey, Stacy Cole did say Mount Sterling, Kentucky.
Okay. Well, it's a different one. That's why I'm not part of the secret club, I guess.
See how she is.
Church, but it's here in Gallatin, Tennessee.
Well, you know, we first started, and when I first set this up, it was Mike that was coming on, and then he said he was coming over to Chris's house, and they had to do the merch thing going on. So I was like, man, I'm excited. This is going to be an awesome night. I got Chris and Mike, and next thing you know, Lisa looked at me. She goes, "Hey, why don't you just bring Hank and Julio on there?"
You gotta come to the VIP party to get to know Hank and Julio, though.
Some of them I get to, some of them we don't.
But yeah, you could have had Doogie too, but he had to leave. It's his birthday today, so everybody wish Doogie a happy birthday. I'm sure he would have loved to be on the podcast, but he had to go for a birthday dinner. We were all doing the T-shirt thing earlier, and we kept him over because we had some technical difficulties. But if you haven't wished him a happy birthday, wish him a happy birthday because it's the big 4-0. He's an old man today.
Wait a minute, I'm older than Doogie?
I guess.
I like really bad jokes. Somebody wrote that. So
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Chris, you're done being my friend.
What's up, girl? Tracy? Stephanie Young, she's the one who made fun of my goatee. I died gray.
Melanie Kush, really bad jokes. You can experience these jokes.
But we will say, without giving a whole on story, when we were in Wichita and Chris started doing the jokes in our group, that was the best activity we had that night with the jokes. And it seemed like nothing else was going on. Long story short, meters set up, telling a joke, meters were going off. Telling another joke, meters going off. Somebody else in the group told a good joke, meters were going off. So we're like, if you want us to leave, let us know. Nothing goes off. Do you want us to stay and tell more jokes? Meters go off. So then we did an EVP session, and we're like, so it seems like you like jokes. Do you have a joke you want to tell us? Playing it back, we get a clear EVP that says, I'm shy. So whatever was in there, loved hearing the jokes, but when it seemed like, man, we're not hearing anything, whatever, but they let us know that was our activity. They told us they're shy, but they just wanted to hear us tell jokes. And as the groups were laughing, our meters were going off, the most crazy Periscope activity. Because even at that time, I was like, we had the 360 sitting on this bar. When I was like, who's telling the jokes? I said, if it's Chris telling you the jokes, can you point at him? That thing just went, and it stayed pointing at him. And then we're like, if that's Chris that you're pointing at, can you make 2 of those bars light up? 2 light up. And then we're like, all right, this is
no way.
Can you make 3 of them light up? The 3rd bar lit up, and I was like, I've never seen Periscope activity like we had there. And it was all because of jokes.
Yeah, we have this theory that, especially when you go to a place that's been investigated so many times, they get the same questions drilled at them over and over again. What's your name? Or, why are you still here? And, make the green light turn red. But how would you feel if you were there stuck in a place and people just kept asking you those same dull questions? Well, we have a theory. You go in there, you treat them like a regular old person because, they don't want to hear the same questions over and over. You just start telling jokes. You start cutting up. You kind of have that camaraderie. You let everybody in the crowd, we all just kind of form this energy, this like really positive energy. And I think they get in on that and they want to get in on that. So, I think it's always been a good tactic for us. I mean, every time we do it, it works like a charm.
I think that's a lot of people don't realize when you start using different tactics, how they work in different ways. Because, like you said, they're used to one certain standard saying over and over again.
Right. I mean, it's like anything. That time we were at the Thomas house and a lady knew sign language. And I was like, why don't you do it? Like sign for your questions during the investigation. And then somebody else yells out, well, how are we supposed to hear if they're, and I'm like, dude, I don't know. I was like, let's just try something new,
Right.
And we're getting responses. She's signing a question and it was meter activity at the time, but whatever it was responded. How do we know that in this other realm of what we're calling ghosts, that they don't know different languages, they don't know different signs? How do we know they can't read our minds? Anything like that. It's all a big question mark. But all I can tell you was we got activity off of it. So it's like, if you have something new, try it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Hey, that Stacy Cole said, thank you. It's for a contest for their youth group. Love you guys.
Ah, yeah, girl.
We love you too.
Right. Laura T. LT's in the house.
Laura Thompson, what's up, girl?
A bunch of happy birthday doogies on there.
It's one of our favorites. Dominic is watching. Everybody say hi, Dominic.
Hi, Dominic.
Oh, we got one. Marcia. Sorry, I'll screw up this last. I'm going to say Genos. Hi, I'm new from Vancouver, BC.
Ah,
Nice. That's
Canada.
yes. Thank you. I knew what BC was. I was like,
Well, welcome to the crazy show.
yeah. You never know what you get on this show.
We got a comment from Stephanie Young. Chris, remember the janitor in the school basement with the porn stashed?
Huh?
Do you remember that?
Wait a minute.
Is that Tracy City?
In a school?
That had to have been Tracy City because
Yeah, was that? Yeah, where we did Wraith Fest, probably.
Yeah.
Stash.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was something dumb that I said. But
was it the time Chad had a stash?
We'll just throw Chad in there real quick.
Okay.
You know, that's the first time I met you guys was at the Wraith Fest.
Let's see. What's up, Richmond, Virginia?
Oh, LaFons.
What's up,
There's some
LeFon?
phones on there. All right, letting the guys answer some of you guys' questions or anything that you got up on here.
Oh, there's a good one. Go back. I mean, I don't know the answer, but that's a great question. Can an animal hospital be haunted?
Yes.
I would go with yeah. I mean, any place could be. I mean, maybe sometimes it's not so much the building, but maybe the land. But I don't see why not. I mean, Thomas House is another great example that there's a cat ghost there. And how many different places people think they see a dog or a cat or any kind of animal. So I would go with yes.
Yeah, and we got Lee Williams from Australia. I've been watching you guys from Australia. Even got my mum, MUM, into watching you guys. She has me recording your episodes on nights she's working. Well, what's up, Lee? Say hi to your mom for us. Thank you guys so much for supporting us out down under.
No, I love it.
Let's talk about the Battleship for a second, man.
That
place.
It was amazing. I'll give a quickie of my best experience there for that. The one time I was there, good activity all night, but we were in, I don't even know what the room was called. There was a bunch of lockers and there was a bunch of bedding where like lofts where they slept, the sailors slept. And so we're doing everything. We'll bring out whiskey for trigger objects, some playing cards, cigarettes, cigars, whatever we have. And so there's a group of us and we're standing in the middle and we're putting all these trigger objects down. So we're asking the questions. And we're like, do you want to have a smoke? Who wants a smoke? And then we hear like a big knock and it sounds metal. It's from one of these lockers. And all the lockers that we were checking were empty. And somebody in the group was like, it's coming from this one. We opened up that locker and there was a cigarette butt in there. And we're like, all right, that's crazy. And we started opening up every other locker and everyone was empty. After asking, do you want to smoke? The locker that had the bang on it had a cigarette butt in it. So, I mean, to me, that's
a little odd.
When you get 100 lockers and they're all empty. And Chad they were hearing disembodied voices walking from location to location, not even stuck in one spot. So that entire ship, I think, got some mojo.
Here we go. We got one from Liz. She says, how about catnip for trigger objects?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
I thought it was cute.
It is. It'll work.
Hey, we'll try anything once. If it works, we're gonna try. We're gonna try it again.
You better believe it.
You better believe we're gonna try it again.
Heck yeah.
Because what was that thing Dougie said at where were we at?
Hell's Bar.
Hell's Bar. We gotta collaborate.
What about regroup?
Regroup.
Yeah, that's the Stacy one. Regoop.
Here you go. This one for Chad, real quick.
Hey, this is Ghost Hunt Weekend's President Chad Morin, and you are listening to Paranormal Highways.
I love it. He sounds so professional, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Why don't we get him on a horn?
Huh?
Get him on.
Get him on here and pull him in. I'd have to go off and come back on to pull him in, though.
Here's a good one from Shiloh. Mike, what was one of your favorite experiences at the Crossroads Museum in Corinth?
Ooh, that place is off the hook. I mean, any place that we've experienced, when you're sitting right on the railroad tracks, it's like a constant battery. And just the artifacts in this place alone, you're sitting on a million trigger objects. Gosh, we had such cool stuff. I think one of the coolest ones that, again, one time I was there, hopefully it's one of the locations we do this weekend. It was like just a train car that sat by itself. And they were telling us that I guess sometime in the past somebody was living in it or somebody died in it. I can't remember the full history story about it, but great ghost box session with this guy. We're like, are you living here? We're getting direct response questions from whoever this guy. I don't know if somebody that passed in there or it's some transient guy that just lived in there in the past, but we hit like 3 or 4 different locations, but that's the one that sticks out. It's just this tiny little rail car, but we were getting great ghost box activity in there.
Isn't it kind of weird? What I like about you guys' show too is one week it may be K2s, the next week, you're going to get something off the box. It just shows the different variety of tools that are out there to collect evidence.
Oh, absolutely. I think even like we get a lot of questions about the apps, and I'll stand for myself and say I don't take them too much. You can take them or leave them, but I think almost like everything, you're 50-50 because we don't know what we're dealing with. And I never had great experiences with EchoVox or Spiritus until actually this last season. And when you're getting a full sentence response, clear as day, I mean, you can't deny that. It's like if I'm like, what's my name? Oh, that said Mike. And it's like, it said a million different things. It could have said Mike. Because I think when stuff like that, you already know the answer you want to hear. So when you're hearing all this jumble, you think you're hearing what you want to hear already. But when we're asking a question without giving anything away on the show, and you ask a question, you're getting a sentence response. I mean, then I'm like, all right, you sold me on it, So it's like it just really depends on what it is.
Well, I think there was 2 times in Haunted Town season 1 where it said Brandon twice. It was twice that it done it him. Am I right?
On probably, what was it? Well, we didn't use Echo.
I think one of them was at Penhurst.
Oh man, that's been so long ago. Penhurst was an amazing location. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I know that a lot of the spirits connected with Brandon there at Penhurst for whatever reason. Kind of the same thing with Kuhn Hospital season 1. Alan Alfrey, have y'all given up trying to catch a ghost? Well, Alan, that was kind of a ghost asylum thing. We were not necessarily trying to catch a ghost. We were just trying to see if there was a way to transport their energy from one location to the next. Say if there was an energy that was trapped there for whatever reason, we wanted to try to see if we could transport it somewhere else by using various experimental means. I don't think we ever were able to do that except for one time. We were able to transfer some energy at the Scottsville Hospital. Old Memorial? Yeah. Okay. We used a device that used a solar panel with a capacitor, and the capacitor got charged, and then we were able to move it out of there, and then for whatever reason it drained by the time that we got back to Doogie's garage. But that was just something that we were trying. We weren't necessarily trying to catch a ghost. We were going to see if we could help them in some sort of way. But that was more of a network thing than it was a TWC thing. That was kind of one of their things is, that's what they wanted us to do. But, it worked sometimes, I think, and sometimes it didn't.
There was one that I was talking to Brennan about that it wasn't the trap, but it was where you all started doing the experiments. And when Brennan used the heat, the EMF,
Yeah, that was
the static.
Yeah.
And that was some pretty good evidence off of that.
and that's where it also said Brandon's name coming up
Yeah.
on the box there. Yeah. I mean, people say that a lot, when they bring up ghost asylum stuff, you can't trap a ghost. And it's like trap is a bad word, but if you go to contain energy, I mean, how many people say that doll's haunted? Ever since I brought that dresser in my house, I've been getting activity, or something's connected to this Confederate uniform or whatever it is. It's like, don't those objects contain energy or spirit or ghost, whatever you want to call it? I mean, ghost is, again, such a general word. It's whether it's energy, spirits, ghosts, whatever. But it's like, if it can contain an object and say, well, this doll's haunted, so we're keeping it behind glass. You contained it, right? So it's like, if you can contain it and move that haunted doll, why can't you do it with something else?
Well, that's not only exactly. I mean, if that doll well, never mind. But anyway, that's another subject.
We Theodore, everywhere we go, our doll, one day he's going to get haunted. He's going to contain his energy, and then you'll find him on the side of the road because he's no longer going to come home with me.
Or we'll put him on the
charity.
That's like one of our ones we go to, Moon River Brewery down in Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah.
Great place to hunt. We're down there again this year. I think it's in December.
Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, we're going to be there.
No, really?
Yeah, Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
That's a good Christmas present if anybody wants to buy one.
That place is amazing.
We're going to give a shout out to Heather Turner from South Carolina. Says she's a big fan. We appreciate you watching, Heather.
So, dear.
You're able to see them pretty good, Chris?
Yeah, we got a little.
Good.
Here's a shout out to this guy named Chad Morin that's in the.
We got six.
We got six in the house. We got Billy Sims. What's up, Billy Sims?
Billy Sims, it's been too long, brother.
Yeah, I know, man. You need to come out. Sherry, get Billy to come out this weekend.
Both of you guys. What the hell?
Hey, we got Amanda, I guess, Bombay. She's watching you guys, but she's got a migraine.
Oh, girl. Just turn down the volume and watch.
Read my lips. That's when you say, what is it that they say? When it says, looks like you say, I love you?
Elephant juice.
Elephant juice.
Oh, hey, Shiloh, don't ask Six about her gummies. Just let that one go. You won't make it there Saturday night. There's this whole conversation going on over there that we're watching.
Guys, I don't want to keep you on here forever. I know you all stay busy. You all are doing your merch and everything. We've been on here for about an hour, chit-chatting along.
Man, anytime. Anytime.
Love you guys. I appreciate you kicking off my vodcast, and I couldn't think of anybody better to do it.
Oh, thank you, brother. We love you, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much for
Thanks,
having
man. I love you guys. But I tell you what, www.TennesseeRaceAcers.com. That'll get you all kinds of merchandise, tickets, and see it for events, to see the boys everywhere in the world. I should say the world because that's where they go. I mean, I don't know. We don't go overseas yet, do we?
No, we got to talk.
Anywhere in the U.S. We'll say U.S. Anywhere in the U.S. You can also get tickets and merch at www.ghosthuntweekends.com. If you want to hear the video playback, www.paranormalhighways.net. I have to be the odd one. Everybody's .com. I'm .net.
You gotta keep the net alive, man.
But if you need any information, come on there. Shoot me a message. I'm pretty sure I can get you an answer of anything that you wanted to ask or say from these guys. They're great guys. They're fun to be around. They're fun to be with. But that's it for Paranormal Highways tonight. And I want everybody to stand up and give Chris and Mike a great big hand. Tell them thank you. I do like we do at the events. Tell everybody tell Chris and Mike thank you. They're like, thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Sounds like a little, but we're going to have to kick it off. We got our little music on, my jam. So, Chris and Mike, but I'm going to end the broadcast if you guys will stay on real quick. But Everybody else, we love you. We thank you. We'll be back again, hopefully next week. I think we're going to have, I'll announce it when I get it. Make sure I get it solid. Until then, stay spooky, my friend.